On a bright Sunday morning in October 2025, the Louvre Museum welcomed its first visitors of the day, just as it had for centuries. Thousands of tourists from around the world poured through the grand entrances, excited to see iconic artworks like the Mona Lisa and the Venus de Milo. Up on the first floor, in a magnificent Galerie d'Apollon, the French crown jewels sparkled in their display cases, drawing smaller but dedicated crowds who marveled at the history embedded in each gem. These jewels, survivors of revolutions and wars, included stunning pieces from the Napoleonic era and beyond, symbols of France's royal grandeur. Security guards patrolled routinely, and surveillance cameras watched silently, but no one suspected that this ordinary day would soon become one of the boldest art heists in modern history. A team of 4 skilled thieves had spent months preparing, studying blueprints, timing guard shifts, and identifying weak points in the museum's defenses. The thieves arrived early, disguised perfectly as maintenance workers complete with orange high-visibility vests, hard hats, and official-looking badges forged weeks in advance. They drove a stolen utility van marked with a fake company logo, pulling up along the Quai François Mitterrand by the Seine River, where scaffolding and renovation work was a common sight, due to ongoing facade repairs. The Louvre, a massive complex spanning over 72,000 square meters, often had external works, making their presence unremarkable. They parked near a section with known camera blind spots, a vulnerability highlighted in internal reports, but not yet fixed amid bureaucratic delays and limited funding. From the van, they deployed an extendable cherry-picker ladder, the kind used for high-reaching tasks, and 2 of the men ascended calmly toward a balcony window of the Galerie d'Apollon. Visitors below glanced up occasionally, but assumed it was routine maintenance. At exactly 9:32 a.m., the 2 climbers reached the balcony, their movements precise and unhurried to avoid drawing attention. They wore full-face masks under their helmets and latex gloves to prevent fingerprints or DNA traces. In their tool belts were battery-powered angle grinders with diamond-tipped blades, capable of cutting through reinforced glass quickly and quietly. They sliced a neat circle in the window, disabling the vibration sensor with a simple jammer device purchased on the dark web. Alarms triggered inside, but the response was delayed. The control room was understaffed that morning, and multiple minor alerts from construction vibrations had desensitized operators. Slipping through the opening, they entered the opulent gallery lined with golden walls, painted ceilings depicting Apollo, and cases filled with treasures that had once adorned kings and emperors. The thieves wasted no time, heading straight for the central display cases housing the most valuable crown jewels. Among them were the emerald and diamond brooch of Empress Eugenie, a necklace with massive sapphires gifted by Napoleon III, pearl tiaras worn by Queen Marie Amélie, and intricate sets featuring hundreds of flawless diamonds. These pieces, valued collectively at over 100 million euros, were protected by tempered glass and basic locks, relying more on the museum's overall security than individual case fortifications. Using hydraulic spreaders and cutters, the pair forced open 3 cases in rapid succession, the noise muffled by the gallery's thick carpets and distant tourist chatter. They carefully but swiftly placed the jewels into padded black bags, avoiding damage to the delicate settings. One thief paused briefly to admire a particularly large emerald, but discipline held. This was a job, not a leisure visit. Suddenly, the full alarm system, activated as a guard on routine patrol, noticed the breached window from inside. Sirens wailed throughout the building, and announcements urged visitors to remain calm and exit orderly. Panic rippled through the crowds below as people were herded toward exits, some snapping photos of the commotion. Up in the gallery, the thieves rappelled back down the ladder to their waiting accomplices in the van. They attempted to torch the vehicle with accelerant to erase evidence, but flames were quickly extinguished by alert staff using nearby fire equipment. Abandoning the van, The four split into pairs and mounted high-speed scooters stashed nearby, weaving through Paris streets amid morning traffic. Police cars raced to the scene, but the thieves melted into the city, reaching safe houses in the northern suburbs before roadblocks were fully set. Chaos ensued at the Louvre as special forces secured the perimeter and evacuated over 5,000 visitors. Forensic experts in white suits combed the gallery, finding discarded tools, a single glove with sweat DNA, and most crucially, the dropped crown of Louis XV outside near the riverbank, damaged but recoverable. This crown, with its massive diamonds and historical significance, had slipped from a bag during the frantic escape. Initial reports confirmed 8 major pieces missing, irreplaceable artifacts that told stories of French monarchy from the Bourbon Restoration to the Second Empire. Media helicopters hovered overhead, broadcasting live as officials held press conferences. The heist, executed in under 10 minutes during opening hours, shocked the world with its audacity and simplicity. French authorities launched an immediate nationwide manhunt, involving the Brigade de Repression du Banditisme and international partners like Interpol. President Macron addressed the nation that evening, calling the theft a wound to our cultural soul and promising unlimited resources for recovery. The Louvre director expressed devastation, admitting that despite recent upgrades, human error and resource constraints played a role. Unions pointed to chronic understaffing, with only 1,200 guards for a museum attracting 10 million visitors annually. Remaining jewels were swiftly transferred to secure vaults, and the Galerie d'Apollon was closed to the public indefinitely. Experts warned that the stolen items, too famous to sell whole, would likely be dismantled, gems recut, gold melted, destroying their heritage value forever. Days turned into weeks as investigators pieced together clues from CCTV footage showing the van's license plate and facial recognition hits on partial mask slips. The DNA from the glove matched a known criminal database entry for a 35-year-old from Saint-Denis with a history of burglaries. Raids on suspected hideouts yielded arrests. First 2 lookouts, then the latter operators. Interrogations revealed a loosely organized group motivated by quick profit, not ideological reasons. They had scouted the museum multiple times disguised as tourists, noting slow response times and balcony access during renovations. One suspect, ironically known locally for helping neighbors, confessed partially under pressure, leading to more seizures of tools and fake IDs. By November 2025, all 4 primary thieves were in custody, along with several fences who planned to smuggle pieces abroad. Trials began swiftly, with charges of aggravated theft carrying heavy sentences. Yet the jewels themselves remained elusive, possibly already broken apart in underground workshops in Antwerp or Istanbul. Recovery efforts intensified, with rewards offered and black market informants contacted. The heist sparked global debate on museum security. Should priceless items be displayed at all, or locked away like the British Crown jewels in the Tower of London? Many argued for advanced tech like biometric locks and AI monitoring. The incident rippled through the art world, prompting audits at institutions like the British Museum and the Hermitage. Insurance claims soared, though cultural loss couldn't be quantified. Tourists returned to the Louvre in record numbers post-reopening, drawn by the notoriety, but with heightened checks and no photos allowed in sensitive areas. The recovered crown was restored by experts and placed back on display behind upgraded bulletproof glass, serving as a symbol of resilience. Historians reflected on past thefts, from a 1911 Mona Lisa stealing to revolutionary dispersals, noting patterns of vulnerability in even the grandest repositories. As December 2025 approached, fragments of information emerged. A diamond surfaced in a pawn shop in Marseille, traced back to the heist. Hope flickered for more recoveries, though experts remained pessimistic about full restitution. The thieves, now facing decades in prison, had achieved fleeting fame but ultimate downfall. Paris, the city of light, healed quickly, its museums adapting with drones, more guards, and international cooperation. The 2025 crown jewels Heist entered Louvre as a daring daylight raid that exposed modern flaws in protecting ancient treasures. Deeper analysis revealed how the team formed. The leader, a former construction worker familiar with ladders, recruited via criminal networks. Months of rehearsal in abandoned buildings perfected their timing. They chose Sunday for lighter security shifts and higher visitor distraction. The choice of jewels over paintings was strategic, smaller, easier to carry, higher black market demand. Cultural ministers announced billions in funding for upgrades across France's 1,200 museums. Public opinion split. Some vilified the thieves as destroyers of heritage. Others romanticized their boldness in an unequal society. International media covered every angle, from psychological profiles of the perpetrators to virtual reconstructions of the escape route. Documentaries aired, interviewing witnesses who recalled the scooters zooming past cafes. Art recovery specialists like those from the Monuments Men Foundation joined the hunt, tracking leads to Middle Eastern buyers. The Louvre installed new systems, motion sensors, rapid response teams, and glass that shatters alarms instantly. Visitor experiences changed subtly, with more bag checks but preserved wonder.